If you're having pain in your spine, that's either in your upper back, neck, or your lower back, it may be due to some decreased spinal rotation. Dr. Nicholas Mercer with uImproved PT. So, and a lot of people, something we don't do a lot is rotate through our spine, right? This motion here, right? And so when that happens, when we're lacking that rotation, we usually get compensation somewhere else, whether that be the neck, the shoulders, or the hips, the knees. We're rotating somewhere that isn't supposed to handle that rotation because of that restriction in our spinal rotation. So one way you can figure out if you have a restriction in spinal rotation is to perform this quick little test either in a mirror or even better if you record yourself doing it and kind of check through there. But when we stand with feet together and we rotate, right, you should be able to get about 90 degrees, right? And if we go from the back, from here, and you rotate, you should be able to see the back shoulder coming through, right? And I'll show you on the other side. You should be able to see that shoulder on the other side. Okay? If you're not able to get that far, you could have a restriction in rotation somewhere. It could be in your hips. Sometimes the hips have a lot of rotation ability. If you can't rotate through your hips, it may actually cause your spine to rotate more than it needs to. Also, vice versa, if you have a restriction in the spinal rotation, you could be rotating from your hips or your shoulders a little more than you're supposed to. So what can we do in order to kind of figure out where this lack of rotation, this lack of movement should be and probably should be, I should say, because everyone's problems are different. There's a lot more going on, but this is just kind of a simple way to assess where is that problem most likely to be. So when we do this standing test and we've rotated, we're checking kind of global rotation. So in order to eliminate the hips from the equation, all you need to do is sit down, right? And then when you rotate while sitting down, you should be able to get about here, right? So past the 45-degree mark here, okay? And the same thing on the other side. If that's 45 degrees, we want to be able to get past that to about 60 or 70 degrees, right? So you shouldn't be all the way to the side, but you should be pretty close to getting your chest directly over here. So if you're restricted and you're just barely hitting that 45 degrees, or you're even going less than 45 degrees, that's going to be a problem somewhere in your spine with rotation. However, if you are able to achieve that full spinal rotation, it's likely that the restriction that you're going to have is in your hips, right? So when we'll talk more specifically about when the restriction is in your spine. So in this case, the restriction, bam, we really only get this far with our rotation versus this, right? And so when we have that restriction, we need to start training some rotation. Again, we're going to focus on global rotation. Again, if you're having any pain while you're doing the next exercise, stop, and that's a good time to kind of recognize that this is a problem that I need to go see a healthcare practitioner for in order to get this better, because these movements shouldn't be painful. So the movement that I want to show you is just some spinal rotation in a easier position, right? So we're going to start here. You'll see I've locked in my hips by sitting back, right? So you start on all fours, lock in those hips, and then we're going to bring the arm through and try to rotate that spine as much as possible. All right, and you should feel kind of a stretch or pulling, but we shouldn't feel pain. If you're feeling pain, stop. That's a good time to go see a PT or another healthcare practitioner. All right, we'll hang out there 10 seconds. And then regardless of if you had both sides that were restricted or just one side, we're going to do both sides. And that is for two reasons. We want to make sure that both sides are mobile, but we also want to be mindful and feel the difference in that stretch between the two sides. You may feel it different on one side than the other, and that's just more information for you, especially if you're going to go see a PT or other healthcare practitioner. You can let them know, hey, I know I have a difference between the two sides. When I turn this direction, I feel it here. When I turn this direction, I feel it here, or my pain is here when I do certain movements. So being mindful of where you're feeling those symptoms, that tightness, that pain, is going to help guide both you and your healthcare practitioner to a better solution. But if you're not feeling any pain and it's just stiffness or tightness, go ahead and do that and try to get some more rotation through your spine, and that should kind of alleviate those that restriction in the rotation that may be causing your neck, upper back, or lower back pain. So do that in order to improve rotation. If you have any questions, please go to uimprovedpt.com. The link will be in the description below. Send us an email. We have a bunch of free information on our website to help you finally end all these various different types of pain that you may be having. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos and information like this. We just want to help you get better, decrease pain, so that we can, you can do all the activities that you want to do. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and visit uimprovedpt.com and get ready to improve your movements and improve your life.